Cathy, hello world. This is Attorney Angel and I'm your legal angel. Hi my fellow angels. As always, I hope that you're all staying healthy, safe and well and that you're not forgetting to pray. Of course, thank you very much to those who are liking, subscribing, sharing, following. Please continue smashing that like, share, subscribe and follow button. And our goal now is to reach 4,000 watch hours. So please, so that we will be able to help more people, reach out to more people, not just our kababayans here, but also all over the world. I hope that you enjoyed and that you have learned something from my vlog on affidavit writing. We'll have more of those in the future, like how to reply to a demand letter, how to review or draft contracts. Yan, mga useful, diba? Okay, but let's go back to learning. As I promised, we will have isang case nga dyan, malapit na po, and of course, isang batas para patas. So, nakakaisa pa lang po tayo. We will continue with the next, which is connected with the first law that I discussed with you. Kung alam ko lang that talaga inaral ko to because nakakatulong siya sa mga nag-a-apply ng lisensya at sa renewal ng lisensya. Because these questions regarding the past law that I discussed and this one that I will discuss, tinatanong siya sa LTO driver's license exam. Oh, yes. Okay. And I'm glad that I have my driver's license renewed. Okay, good for 10 years. Yay. Yes. Okay. What we'll be discussing for today is entitled Republic Act 10054, an act mandating all motorcycle riders to wear standard protective motorcycle helmets while driving and providing penalties therefore. Okay. So, the short title of this law is the Motorcycle Helmet Act of 2009. Okay, bakit nagkaroon ito? Dahil, sabi dito sa batas, in Section 2, in the Declaration of Policy, it is a declared policy of the state to secure and safeguard its citizenry, particularly the operators or drivers of motorcycles and their passengers, from ruinous and extremely injurious effects of fatal or life-threatening accidents and crashes. Towards this end, it shall pursue a more proactive and preventive approach to secure the safety of motorists, their passengers, and pedestrians at all times through the mandatory enforcement of the use of standard protective motorcycle helmet. Okay, very, very important, diba? Nakita nyo naman, narinig nyo, dun sa Declaration of Policy, ang dahilan nito ay para protektahan ang mas nakararami, ang kalahatan, pangkalahatan, actually, citizenry, secure and safeguard the citizenry. Okay? Hindi lamang yung mga nag-ooperate o nagdadrive ng motorsiklo. Kasama dito yung mga pasahero nila at pati na rin yung mga common tao na naglalakad sa daan, pedestrians. Okay, bakit? Diba, alam nyo naman na from time to time nakakakita kayo ng mga aksidente on the road and most of them involved sa mga aksidente, mga motorcycles. So, syempre kasi wala namang bakal na nakapaligid. Talagang body mo lang and the motorcycle. And I have very sad experience from this motorcycle. Hindi naman ako, pero namatayan ako ng pamangkin. Okay? Because of the motorcycle. So, na-aksidente siya. He would have been already graduate na dapat siya. Kaya lang masaklap na aksidente na syempre heartbreaking. So, maganda. Nag-helmet naman. Pero hindi mo talaga may iwasan. But extra precaution, wear protective helmet. Okay. Mandatory meaning to say you have no choice because it is obligatory. It is imposed by law, enforced by law. Okay. You also have Section 3. Ayan. As I was saying, mandatory, obligatory. Okay. You have to follow. On the mandatory use of motorcycle helmets under Section 3, it states all motorcycle riders, including drivers and back riders, shall at all times wear standard protective motorcycle helmets while driving, whether long or short drives in any type or road and highway. Ayan, dun muna tayo because it has 3 paragraphs. For the first paragraph, hindi lang driver ang kailangang naka-helmet, but also the back riders. Okay, back riders are also considered as passengers. Okay, at all times, it doesn't matter whether the distance is short or long. Short or long drives, you need to wear a helmet. You must, you shall, okay, wear helmet. Okay, in any type of road, whether it's a main road or even if it's an inner road, etc. Then in the second paragraph of section 3, it states, standard protective motorcycle helmets are appropriate types of helmets for motorcycle riders that comply with the specifications issued by the Department of Trade and Industry. So you will see there in your helmet, if you buy, merong sticker yan. Because merong standard ang DTI. So don't just buy any kind of helmet. Siguraduhin nyo yan yung pumasa sa standards ng DTI. Because ulo niya pinoprotektahan, di ba? Would you want something that is easy to break, that is not, magtitipid ka nga, pero hindi mo naman poprotektahan yung ulo mo. Baliwala rin, di ba? And then, the DTI shall issue guidelines which should include the specifications regarding standard protective motorcycle helmets. Okay, that's the duty of the DTI regarding the standards that are to be implemented for the helmet. Okay, DTI, of course, you know, Department of Trade and Industry. So those concern yung manufacturers as well as the traders and marketers and the sellers of the helmet. Section 4, exemption. Ayan. Although it is mandatory, okay, there is an exemption. Okay? Ano yung exemption? Under Section 4, drivers of tricycles shall be exempted from complying with the mandatory wearing of motorcycle helmets as provided in this act. Okay. Kahit pa paano kasi, the tricycle, may somehow may ano siya, mas may protective equipment, maybe because, di ba, meron siyang body, tapos merong ganito, may bubong. Maybe that's the reason behind the exemption. As compared to just the motorcycle na walang nakapaligid na aparato to protect the rider and the driver. And in Section 5, provision of motorcycle helmets. It states, new motorcycle helmet which bears the Philippine standard mark of import commodity clearance. Yun, kaninang sinasabi natin, may sticker yan. PSICC of the Bureau of Product Standards or BPS, which is under the DTI. In compliance with the standards set by the PPS shall be made available by every seller and or dealer every time a new motorcycle unit is purchased and which the purchaser may buy at his option. Failure to comply with the requirements provided under this section shall constitute a violation of this act. And with regard to the implementation, it states in Section 6, the agencies concerned with the implementation, the DOTC or the Department of Transportation and Communications, and its attached agencies such as the LTO or the Land Transportation Office. Okay, they are mandated to issue guidelines necessary to implement the provisions of RA 10054. And then also involved, of course, as we have mentioned earlier, the DTI through the BPS or the Bureau of Product Standards. Okay, medyo tumigas yung ano doon. Bureau of Product Standards. Yeah. Okay. Mandated to utilize the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe or UNESE protocols. Okay. With regard to the standards that will be applicable to the approval or disapproval of motorcycle helmets that will be sold in the Philippines. So talagang mataas ang standards because it is provided for by the UNESE or the UN Economic Commission for Europe. Dahil buhay ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Upon effectivity of this act, only those standard protective motorcycle helmets bearing the PS or ICC mark shall be sold in the market. Okay, yun lang pumasa sa standards na yun ang pwedeng ibenta sa market. Pero kasi may mga nakakalusot pa rin, di ba? Na hindi talaga pasado doon sa standards na yun. So be careful, be discerning when you buy your helmets. And then of course, we have penalties in violation of this law. In Section 7, any person caught not wearing the standard protective motorcycle helmet in violation of this act shall be punished with a fine of 1,500 pesos for the first offense. Okay. First offense, 1,500. Pag hindi ka naka-standard motorcycle helmet. Then, 3,000 pesos for the second offense. Okay, matigas ulo mo. Kadalawa ka na, 3,000. Then, for the third offense, 5,000 pesos. O mabigat yan kasi ang hirap ng buhay. Hirap kitain yan kahit yung 1,500, yung 3,000, then 5,000 pa lalo. Okay? And 10,000 pesos plus confiscation of the driver's license for the fourth and succeeding offenses. Ang tigas talaga na ulo mo pag umabot ka pa sa puntong ito. Okay? Huwag na tayo umabot sa puntong ganyan na mamumultahan ka pa ng 10,000, mako-confiscate ang driver's license mo. Okay. Diba? Buhay ang pinag-uusapan. Again. And then, any seller and or dealer who violates Section 5 of this act shall be punished with a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos but not more than 20,000 pesos. Yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, yung sa Section 5 regarding yung standards provided for by the Bureau of Product Standards. So pag nag-violate kayo doon, penalties not less than 10,000 but not more than 20,000. Another one under the penalties provision, any person who uses, sells, and distributes substandard motorcycle helmets or those which do not bear the PS mark or the ICC certificate shall be punished with a fine of not less than 3,000 pesos for the first offense, 5,000 pesos for the second offense without prejudice to other penalties imposed by RA 7394 or the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Ito naman, dun sa mga nagbebenta ng helmet. Okay? Pag nahuli kayo na substandard, hindi pasado dun sa standards ng BPS, yung sinasabi natin na may PS and ICC certificate or mark, pwede kayong mamultahan ng 3,000 for the first offense, second offense, 5,000, and then pwede pang, kasi nakalagay, without prejudice to other penalties. Okay, pwede pa rin kayong maparusahan under the penalties provided in the Consumers Act of the Philippines, Consumer Act of the Philippines. Okay, and then another provision under penalties, tampering, alteration, forgery, and imitation of the PS mark and ICC certificates in the helmets shall be punished with a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos, but not more than 20,000 pesos, without prejudice to other penalties imposed in the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Ito naman sa mga nagtatamper ng mga mark and ICC certificates na nagpapatunay ng standards imposed dun sa quality ng helmet. Nahuli kayo, offense, 3,000, then, 10,000, and then, not less than 10,000, not more than 20,000. So, nag-range doon yung penalty. And then, without prejudice again, sa pwede pang maging violation nyo under the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Okay. Section 8, it provides the nationwide public information campaign. Okay. So, ito, part na rin to ng information campaign. Pero, syempre, publication, di ba? Publication. This was published, that's why it became a law. Okay, laws need to be published to be effective. So, LTO in coordination with the PIA or the Philippine Information Agency, plus the Department of Education or DepEd, and private agencies and organizations shall undertake a nationwide information, education, and communication campaign for a period of 6 months for the attainment of the objectives of this act. So, this was in 2009. So, anong year ngayon? 2022. So, matagal na itong ini-implement. So, familiar na rin kayo dito. But for those who are not, especially with the details under the law itself, Kaya natin ito ginagawa. And then, Section 9, Severability Clause, Section 10, Repealing Clause, and then Section 11, Effectivity Clause. My students in StatCon know the parts of the statute, and so they already know what separability, repealing, and effectivity clause mean. Okay, so it was in 2009, way back then. The Speaker of the House was Congressman Nograles, and the Senate President was Senator Enrile. Okay. And the President back then was Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So that's it. I hope you learned something from Isang Batas Para Patas. We'll have more laws in the future. I cannot promise when, but in the future. And also, please stay tuned for isang case nga siya by my street law students. So last year we gave you 6. We'll see how many we can give you for this year as part of our education and awareness campaign. Thank you very much. Always remember to be kind, be generous, be a blessing to others, and to glorify God with a grateful heart. This is Attorney Angel, and I'm your legal angel. Por ahí, sarangin.